There, I did it. That was interesting trying to set that up today. I don't know what was happening, but I'm here, so that's good. I don't even know what day it is. What day is it? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Is this a little close, maybe? I don't know. I have a microphone in front of me hooked up to Facebook because it sometimes helps the audio. And hopefully, Instagram has this. Hello, everybody. There we go. Yay. Oh, I'm just letting people join. Yay. Hi. Hello, Facebook. Hi, Bernice. Hi, Laura. Hi, Cindy. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Can everybody see and hear me okay? Hello. Hi, Linz. Hi, Kathy. Hello, Sandra. Hello from Jacksonville. Ooh. Hi. Yes, you caught me live, Brenda. Yay. All right. I'm here. So I put a little post up saying, what do you want to talk about? And there were so many suggestions. And so I couldn't really narrow it down. But there was a couple of things my guides were sort of interested in discussing from the comments. One is karma, because a lot of people, um, I don't know, don't fully understand what it means or like have a very human view. So we can talk about that if you would like. Oh, from Ireland. Hello. Um, and the other one, I am forgetting which is it, is um, like how do you know where you get your information? Like if you're sort of trying to figure out your connection to the other side, your intuition, and stuff like that. So, do you guys have um, something, a preference? Sorry. Hello from Australia. Hello. Would you like it to talk about karma or accepting gifts? What do we think? Um, Comments are like delayed, if that makes sense. So happy to catch it live. It's my dad's birthday on. He passed away last year. My heart is happy. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Accepting gifts. Kathy, you keep saying you want to be in the live. I don't think I can do that. Accepting gifts and accepting gifts. Okay, so everybody wants to talk about that on that side. All right, so here we go. I'm going to pause the comments because I have a hard time keeping up. So there were a few different like versions of this same question. So I stop these comments. Sorry. This is the brain injury, right? I can't. My brain can't stop if there's like things moving. So I actually teach a class on this. So people asked, how do I know if I'm listening to my intuition and making the right choices or listening to my higher self or my guides and they're telling me to do stuff? Or am I just letting my sort of human self or ego make the decisions and sort of make the choices and not actually tuning in or understanding what the other side wants of you. So it's kind of two different parts or two different questions. The first part of it is our guides and our higher self, when we ask them for direction or suggestions or guidance for ourselves personally, if you get an answer from them, it will always be the path of the most learning. So you need to make sure when you're asking them for something or asking them for guidance, you are ready for learning. If you are exhausted as a human and you're like, oh my gosh, could the hits just stop coming and could things stop constantly happening and feeling like chaotic and oh my gosh, what is wrong with my life? probably not the best time to ask your guides for suggestions or advice or guidance. Our human selves will almost always take the path of least resistance. So when we're making choices, we kind of go, oh, what will feel great? What will bring me joy? What is the easiest? So if you need a break or you feel like you're like up to here with chaos and all that sort of stuff, don't ask your guides. Make a human decision. And they don't get mad at us or anything like that. They're totally fine when we want to have a very human moment or week or year or whatever it is. So there's a difference. You don't always, like for me, I don't often ask my guides for advice because I am living this life, and for me, it's a little easier because I trust my intuition. So I kind of get both. But I try in my own way, especially right now when, I am recovering from 2 strokes and I'm up and down still and still can struggle sometimes, like with my mental health and stuff like that. I don't often want their opinion or advice because I'm learning enough. So make sure you are ready for learning. Learning can be amazing and joyful as well. It's not always hard and horrible, but sometimes I don't want to learn. The other side of that is, how do you know when it's intuition or you are just convincing yourself that you are tuning in or figuring something out? You kind of don't. You have to have faith that no matter what, you plan this life, you chose these lessons, and you are capable of walking them and living them. So it's not like, oh God, if I don't check with my guides, it's going to be a crap storm and everything's going to go to hell. That's not how it is. So you don't necessarily have like a ticky box of, okay, that's intuition and that's my guides. It's more of kind of a feeling. When spirit is around with me and helping me, I feel it in a specific part of my body, and it can be different for everyone. I feel it in my chest, which was very confusing because in the beginning I felt it in my chest, but I would constantly think it was anxiety, because anxiety I feel in my belly, and I got really confused of what was what. So you have to figure out where you feel it in your body. Sometimes it feels like anxiety because our guides and our higher self are a much higher energy than us, and it can be, I don't know, kind of anxiety provoking. Um, but you don't need to tap into your intuition or tap into your gifts for your personal sort of guidance, because you got this. You know what you're doing. You plan this life and you are strong enough without their help to live it. When you are going down kind of a different path, and there's a bird sitting staring at me, and you're actually doing this sort of spiritual stuff as like work, that is different, right? Then you need to actually figure out, okay, is this their guides? Is this the other side? Is this their higher self? Or is this me making crap up or tuning into them as a human and not quite getting it right? So that's a whole different kind of thing. What I'm sort of talking about is personal guidance. If you're actually doing it as a job, there's other steps and other things you can do. Does that make sense? Do you have questions about that? I'll go down some comments. I'm going to go on Facebook first. Oh, can I not? Oops. Ooh, it ran away. Hang on. Okay. I tried to do it with my stroke hand. It did not work. Hello, everyone. When faced with a decision, I tend to go with the path that feels right. Is that intuition? Yes, 100%. And you don't need intuition in order to make your choices and live your life, right? If it makes you happy and it brings you joy, or you're like, oh, I would learn so much doing that, do it. My husband passed away in what, May. I am in shock. Oh, I'm so sorry. My doctor wants me to have an angioplasty. I don't know what to do. Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry, Patty. I don't think I can answer your question in a live video, though. Why does it keep doing this? Okay, I'm going to go to Instagram now. Hello, everybody. Oh, more people said karma, so I can do that next. I believe you've explained that there is no karma the way people think. Yes, so I'll talk about that after I go through the comments. Ooh, from Ecuador. Hi. Today is the passing date of my husband, so I'm very glad you went live. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. I saw you in Starbucks the other day. You should say hi. I like when people, well, not when I have my kids because they hate it, but if I don't have my kids, say hi because, yeah, I don't mind it at all. I like saying hi. Mike loves saying hi. If you ever see my husband, oh, he loves it. um, Instagram's different because it shows everybody who joined, so it's hard to find the comments. If we are doing it as guidance for others as a job, how can we learn to do it? Hang on. I think totally on an individual basis. There's no step by step that fits everyone. I think you have to feel called to do it. So I knew from the moment I was born that I was different. So you have to, I don't know, it's a feeling, it's a calling, it's an energy, and you just know. Um, unless you are somebody that has a massive spiritual experience and before that you didn't know and then you did know. So it's very hard to it literally takes me 2 hours to explain that because I do teach a class on that and it's very in-depth. That saying, whatever is meant for me will never miss me. Do you agree with that? Yes, as long as you're not just sitting like a bump on a log going, oh, what's meant for me will not miss me. And then you don't move or do anything or put any effort into your life. If you're putting an effort, then yes, I do believe in that saying. My husband of 29 years left us today. Oh, I'm so sorry. From Hampton Bay. Cool. All right, here I'll go over here again. If we have different lives in different dimensions, why is our focus just on one of them? Our higher self is focused on all of them. In this life, we're only focused on this life because this is where we're learning, this is where we want to be present and fully be immersed in this human experience. Well, that Facebook, you're annoying, not the people on it, but the actual Facebook thing. What? I don't know where I was, so I just have to. My gut keeps me out of trouble all the time. If I don't listen to it, I pay for it. I've learned to trust myself. That's, yeah. Answer to missing person if any guidance messages come up. What? Once we are on the other side, does it make us sad to see the turmoil in the world we just left? Since there is no time, do we look back at Earth and feel sad? No, we don't feel sad because we understand the big picture. Good evening. I tend to sense and feel things, but the other day I was watching something online. It was an old manor estate, and out of nowhere I could actually smell the old wood and a bit of a baking smell. Your thoughts? It kind of freaked me out. You probably lived a life during the time that it was built. I don't answer personal questions on these lives, guys, like personal psychic questions. It's too late in the evening and it makes me tired. My beautiful Shih Tzu Maggie recently passed. Oh, I'm so sorry. How does an animal soul differ from a human soul? Animal souls are pure love. Humans, well, human souls are as well, But animal souls, it's different. It's just literally shining love. Uh, I'm late again, boo. Are you there? Notifications when you start your lives. If you turn on notifications from my page, yes. I have Tanya. That's a really long thing. I can answer that in a general way. If you are struggling severely with anxiety, you need to face that which makes you the most fearful, because then it can't control you anymore. Oh, it's just the worst. Do you think people on this earth are different spiritual levels? I can always pick out an empath. We usually pick each other out. Yes, I don't say spiritual levels, I say like energy levels or soul age, but yes. Oh, it's getting frustrating. Every time I touch the comments to scroll a little bit, it goes all the way to the bottom. Do we lose our ego when we pass over? Yes. Okay, let me just go over here for a moment. Do we have soul groups that we meet in every lifetime? Yes, we do. I call it our soul family. Do our loved ones on the other side react when we are angry at them? My partner passed a couple years ago, and his niece mentioned what he was doing before he died. Um, so they don't like suffer, or they can see what we're going through, they understand it, but they don't participate in it. So they don't feel guilty or shameful or regretful. They understand when you're mad at them and they can see the lessons in it, but they are not like meeting that energy. Why we have evil people in the world and they don't get any punishment? Because they are here to teach and we learn a lot from them. What about twins? Are they different souls? Fraternal twins, yes. Identical twins, both. They can be the same soul or different souls. I've seen both. I am wondering about an upcoming event. What do you mean? What do you think happens when people die? We go to the other side. There is one other side, and we all go there. I had a what? Whoops. I don't know what that is. Will our loved ones help us if we are struggling with grief? Yes, they will sit with us, they will comfort us, they will walk beside us, but grief is a human lesson, not a lesson for the other side. What are we supposed to be eating for health and longevity? Everything that doesn't exist anymore. No, just kidding. Honestly, just a balanced diet with not, what are those called? The red, yellow, food coloring. The artificial colors are the worst for us. A lot of the new fad things are kind of, anyway. I know you talk about how all our lives are pre-planned. Why is it then when I go to readings or watch readings that's holes that on the other side will acknowledge or take responsibility for their passing? Oh, so like if somebody takes their own life, they take responsibility because that helps us and they can see the lessons we are learning. So they don't feel guilty about it, but they will take responsibility. Yes, that was part of my soul's plan. Yes, I did that. And sometimes they will apologize if they think it will help us. But it doesn't have a lot to do with their own soul growth because they're already on the other side. When does the soul enter the body? At the moment of birth. So whether that's live birth, stillbirth, whatever, if the the soul or the baby uh, is never born uh, and doesn't take a breath, the soul stays on the other side. That doesn't mean there is not a soul connected to the baby you are carrying. The soul just can be in both places. So, when I'm sitting there with my pregnant belly talking to my baby, the baby's soul is there, but it's not there like my soul is here. It is in between. It's being cared for by ourselves, our higher selves on the other side. Why do souls sometimes acknowledge? Oh, I already read that. What about purgatory or earthbound spirits? Purgatory is made up by religion, and earthbound spirits are not earthbound. Any spirit, if you think of them, they will come because they love when we think of them. So when you walk into like a haunted house and go, ooh, I wonder if we'll hear some, I don't know, chains rattling or if there's dead people here. The spirits that lived in that house or, like that house will be like, oh, okay, here I am because you're thinking of me. They're not stuck there. Is the other side peaceful or like what's it all about? Yes, it's the most peaceful place I have ever experienced. And I didn't even fully go. I only went to like a in-betweeny place. Can you please speak to religious sin as loving someone you shouldn't love, etc.? Yes, religious sin is a human condition and has no bearing on your place on the other side. There is no judgment or punishment on the other side. There is no weighing of sins. They don't even pay attention to it. Are we here to learn and teach, or are some people here just to teach? Just to teach. And those people are the evil people. And some really wonderful teachers, but like 70% are the people we wish will be punished on the other side. Why do my ears ring with a high pitch all the time? I have no ear pain. It depends. I'd have to tune into you to see if it's tinnitus or spirit. When you do a reading, how do you see the person who passed? Different ways. In the beginning, I needed to actually see them. So they had to like stand in the room. I don't need that anymore. They can just tell me. And I do sort of see them, but they just say, I don't know, a man. I can see, like, I don't know how to explain that. I just see them. And they tell me how they died, the relationship to the person that's sitting there. Their personality comes through fully. They joke like they did when they were alive. They tell me if English wasn't their first language, but they speak to me in English so that I understand them, that kind of stuff. Okay, let me go over here to whatchamacallits, the Facebook. The Facebook that hates me. Here we go. I was like, oh, I think I figured it out, but I didn't. Weird, I don't know. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's not. Sorry, Facebook, I'm having problems. Do we get to spend tons of time with our pets on the other side? Yes. Is there ever a case where our guides are disappointed in us? No, not at all. Do you find messages come through dreaming at night often? Before I accepted my gifts, yes, not as much now. So many repeating numbers lately, almost constantly. It probably means your guides are like, yay, good job. And it might mean you're struggling and needing the good job message. Do you have, no, I don't. Can I ask my spirit guide to make themselves known to me? Yes, but it doesn't always work. If you are not meant to know them in this life, you can't force it. I'm confused about learning lessons here. Are they to learn to love overall. It's worth living life being loved for sure. But when we go to the other side, it seems everything is apparent, lessons are learned, love is clear. So what is the point? That's not the main theme, is love. Love is the number one thing on the other side. We don't have to learn anything about it. We come here to learn and everything else, every heavy thing, pain, joy, the balance of both of those things, faith, just everything, not just love. Do we eat food on the other side? How do we do it without a mouth? We have a mouth. We look like us. Maybe not us, but human form kind of. And so, yes, we can eat. I don't think we have to eat. I don't think we go to the bathroom, but we can eat if we want. That's what my husband is the most excited about. I need to make these pause. Okay, there we go. If grief is a lesson, so if we don't get past grief, do we not learn that lesson? That's not how it works. So it's not like a pass or a fail. If you have chosen a theme of grief, you are going to learn all the ups and downs and ins and outs. You don't master grief. So for me, one of my main themes is patience, and I am not a patient person. And so sometimes I feel like, yay, I'm winning with patience, and other times I'm absolutely failing. And I will be presented with infinite opportunities to practice patience and understand what it means when I do and what it means when I don't. It doesn't mean I will magically be the most patient person in the world, and when I died, yay, I mastered patience. That's not how it works. What are the most efficient ways to increase the vibration, energy, and frequency in a human or in general? Just learning is in general. Why do I keep seeing the number 111? It's usually your guide saying, good job. You're so right about the food, Amber. I'm losing my appetite for what is available these days. I've always thought the 100-mile diet made so much sense, but what's in season locally like we used to? Yes, that does make sense. Are spirits drawn to the light of a candle? At Christmas, I put a lit candle by the window in remembrance of my mother. If it becomes a sign for you, then yes. Do you think you will do any more guided meditations? I probably should. The one I posted the other day on Facebook, I recorded like quite a few years ago, and I haven't done any since. I struggle with words when I'm like put on the spot. What are shadow people all about? I've seen them in our house. So I don't like calling them shadow people because it makes it sound creepy. But when you are maybe somewhat gifted or in tune with the other side starts to show themselves. And when you first start to experience it, I have a choke. Nope. Yawn. Confused brain. It exists kind of here in your peripheral. And so often you'll see like a person walk by and then you look and there's nothing there, or a person over here and you're like, what? That's usually spirits from the other side. Why did you do that again? Darn Facebook. Where are we? Oh, okay. I love a reading one day, maybe part of your 7-Eleven groups. Why do we have to learn here? Because we like to and we want to, and it makes us joyful. What is the best way to get a sign from your spirit guides? You have to figure out what a sign means to you first. So is it numbers? Is it a bird? Is it a feeling? And sometimes people need encouragement just to, I don't know, feel like they're on the right track. But you have to decide what the sign is before you will notice it really. So our soul is in many dimensions and lives at once. When does the soul say, okay, enough? And then what's the next step for the soul? So I don't really delve into this too much because I know I'm on one of my last lives and I don't want to know what happens next. So I sort of have some boundaries. But as far as they've kind of been able to tell me, when our soul becomes so enlightened that we no longer really want to live lives or be a guide or anything like that, we as like our rain cloud join back up with the highest rain cloud. So we become part of that collective enlightenment. Is channeling different from telepathy? I think so. Yes, my guides say yes. I don't know the difference. Channeling is uh, talking to people from other dimensions. Telepathy can happen with human to human. Hello, and from Saskatchewan. Hello. Will you be doing any more group readings for the summer past this week? Yes, I'm actually, I think, going to try and do a group every other week, but don't hold me to that. If pure love, why are our pets feel fearful, reactive? I'm talking about pure love on the other side. Like their souls aren't here to like learn like we are. What are the most, I already read that. We plan our lives knowing we are strong enough, but what about those that chose an exit point because of it being too hard? They didn't choose an exit point necessarily because it's too hard. There's a lot of reasons to choose exit points, but we don't leave before we want to, and it's usually not because it's too hard. Hello everyone. I don't understand how there's no time. There are parallel lives. Yeah, the no time is hard to understand, and that's why I don't try to like talk about it in depth because we don't really need to understand it because here as humans, we need time. It's very important for us to like we base our whole existence on time. You're welcome, Diane. I know you don't do personal readings on these chats, but do you ever feel anything come through and just ignore it? Yes, I do. When meeting someone new for the first time, I sometimes get a feeling they are not a good person and don't want to be near them. Yes, trust your gut because more than likely they aren't a good person. But you have to make sure you're not filtering different or too sensitive or whatever because sometimes I might get a bad feeling from someone and it's not maybe because they're a bad person. Maybe it's because their grandma's sick and their energy's off that day. Ah, no, what happened? Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay. When I had a group reading with the group, you noticed 3 1s. LOL. Well, I woke up one night, looked at the clock, and it was 1:11. You told me then that I was on the right path for me, and I remember correctly. Oh, I love that. Question: what diet have you found to be the best for your personal health conditions? Well, I suck with food. So for me, any food that I can stomach that doesn't make me want to get sick is my diet. So I don't take any pages out of my diet book. How can I differentiate between fear-based thinking and warning signs that are guidance? I don't think you can. Again, that is where faith comes in. You have to have faith that you are walking on the best path for your soul. Faith and gratitude. Okay, I haven't answered any questions on Instagram for a while. Okay, where was I? I haven't dreamt about my dad and he died over a year ago. Can our loved ones on the other side decide to visit us in our dreams? Yes, but they definitely have guidelines. And if you are still deeply grieving and they don't think it will be helpful, then they might not. So, do we get reborn again, like reincarnation sometimes, and why? If so, yes. We are living all our lives simultaneously. So, it's not like the religious reincarnation, like I live this life, then I die, then I plan another life, or I have to be punished and live a horrible life, or whatever it is. All our lives are being lived simultaneously because time and space don't exist on the other side. How do you get guidance from your higher self or your guides? I've asked and no response. I feel stuck. I answered that in the beginning of this. So when I am done, I will post this. Why do spirits stay around in this realm instead of going to the other side? They don't stay around. They just come around when you think of them. What do folks do all day on the other side? There's no all day because there is no time. How do guides feel if their person doesn't believe they exist? They don't feel anything because they know you've planned your life a certain way and that is how you're going to live it. And so they don't feel negative about it or anything like that. And they know if we are going to struggle with faith or not. So they are totally fine with it. And what do we do on the other? So there is no all day, but just as like a reference, when I was on the other side, before I like did anything, made any choices, talked to anyone, I stood with my feet in the grass. It felt like 50 years because it was the most amazing feeling I have ever experienced. Through the grass, I could feel everything, everything around me, every person, every molecule in existence. I could feel it. I could feel the love of God radiating through the grass. Like I literally could have stood there for 300 years and not gotten bored. So maybe we do that. Is if there's no karma and someone does something bad to you, is it normal for is it normal to struggle with the purpose? What if there's no karma? So, oh yeah, I was going to talk about karma. So the sort of saying or belief that karma will get them, like, oh, don't worry, karma will come back around and bite them in the ass. And yet there's very successful people that have stepped on tons of people to get to where they are, and they are rich and do what they want and die happy because that's the life they planned. So that's not a thing. If anything, us focusing on the fact that, oh, okay, they are being awful, they're a horrible person, and oh, I just hope that something awful happens and blah blah blah, that hyper focus will actually make your life more miserable. So I think the whole karma will get them belief. You can believe that if you want, if it's going to make you feel better, but it actually hurts you by hyper focusing in a negative way on other people. How do we know what signs to look for from our loved ones? Again, you have to figure out what signs are important to you. So for me, I like numbers just because it's easy. So when I need something from my guides or they need to encourage me, they show me numbers. When we set our intentions for change, do our guides assist us or just allow us and observe? What? Do our guides assist us? They assist us in the way that they walk beside us, and occasionally let us lean on them. I was in an antique store and a music box started to play. Why was it? Why was it? What? I don't understand. I think I'm getting tired. How long have I been live? 39 minutes. I think I'm getting tired. I haven't made it through even half the comments. But maybe if I'm sitting down later, at least on Facebook, I can go through and My husband just commented, you finish your physical lives with the Mount Everest of amazing hubbies, myself. Remember when you chose me over heaven? I think I might have chosen my life purpose, but you know what? You have at her. All right. Well, it's not the longest live, but I am getting tired. I'm having a hard time reading now. So thank you for all your questions. I will try to go live a little bit more. I am grateful for all of you, and I hope that I answered some of your important questions today. Bye. Whoops. There we go.